Welcome, fellow YouTubers. This video is brought to you by roofinghoist.com, where we build roofing hoist. Over 300 built and sold since Hurricane Katrina. What we're looking at today is my solar setup. I started off buying a couple of the Harbor Freight systems and learned more about it, and then I started adding more solar panels at a much cheaper cost. The Harbor Freight systems, probably you can get them for around 150 to 125, and that is three 15-watt panels. That gives you a total of 45. Two of them to give you 90 watts of solar power would cost you about 300, but you can buy 100-watt solar panels on eBay for about $90, and then you can buy these controllers right here off eBay. They come out of China. They're $9 or $10, and they work great. I run it, my they're 30 amp. I run two solar panels on each one of them. I got those mounted up there, but I'm doing this at night because in the daytime there's too much bright sunshine coming in front, and it won't video. So this one runs two of the 100-watt solar panels, and this one runs two of them, and the Harbor Freight system is the one showing right there with 12.2 volts. So the overview, let me give you a quick overview. You got your solar panels, and they go into a controller, which we were just looking at. They're coming out of the solar panels with a bright sunshine of like 22 watts, and the controller reduces it down to about 14 and probably cuts it off at the battery to keep from overcharging batteries. Then you got your battery bank, and that's what you're seeing here is my battery bank. And then this, to me, is the most important thing. It's the heart of the whole system. It's a high and low voltage regulator. It won't pass the current through until your batteries are built up to, I guess, like 90% or almost full. And then when the battery drains back down to about 50%, this first jumper here sets it how far you want to let your battery drain down. It's important, especially if you're not running all expensive deep cycle batteries. You can buy these value power batteries at Walmart for $48. So you can get a lot of those. But any car battery, it's not a deep cycle battery, it's not going to last long if you drain it down too much. No batteries will last very long if you continually drain them down. In fact, the company that makes batteries says that you can get 1,200 recycles, just charging it up and using it, out of a normal battery if you're draining it past 50%. If you don't drain it past 50%, then you can get an extra 500 charge cycles out of the battery, which means instead of a battery lasting 3.5 to 4 years, it would last an extra year. So it's important to not drain the battery down. A lot of times you will have an inverter. Well, that's the third part. Well, the next part is this is what I use as a photo eye, because I don't want my lights to come on in the daytime. And so even if it's charged up good and everything, the photo eye won't pass the current on to the inverter. So when it gets dark, the photo eye, this is a 12-volt photo eye. They're only about $3. You can also, for a while it took a while to get these from overseas. So for a while there, I was putting the photo eye on the output of my inverter. But with the inverter on all the time, it's trickling and draining some of your charge. So if you put it between your high-low voltage regulator, 12-volt photo eye, then to your inverter, it doesn't waste any of your electricity you stored up in your batteries to run the inverter. And then, of course, the inverter runs to the lights. There we go. That light's running off of this. So, to recap this part, this is very important. These are about $20, and I think they are made in China, but I couldn't find them anywhere except, I think, in Belgium is where they came from. So you can use the cheap batteries if you just control it and don't drain them down so quickly, because batteries that are built to, industrial batteries that are built to last 20 years have really thick plates inside. That's what happens to plates deteriorating there. I'm not an expert or anything. Also, here's a big way to save money is these hose clamps. It's $3 or $4 for a pack of maybe 100 in there. But if you don't have them, you use battery terminals on your batteries. You're looking at $5 each, so $100 worth of these, or even these. Where am I at? If you're putting them on deep cycle batteries, when $3 worth of hose clamps, the hose clamps hold them good. Another thing I found is the aluminum wire that is insulated wires wrapped around a power line. That's aluminum in there, and it carries. It really works as the ground, but it's flexible, easy to run, connect all your positive posts, and it's cheap. It won't corrode. A convenient way to do this is for about $8 a piece. I got these circuit bars where you can just add the lines to batteries and wherever you want to go. I painted the one red because, like on your car, the red is the positive, it's the hot one. Also, these little things here, I don't know if you can see that very good. They tell you right now I'm at 60% of my battery. It'll take a while to run on down. You can also do how many volts it's carrying. I think I disturbed it. It's running at about 12. I did. I'm shaking it around. But I love these little things. They're only about $4, and I keep them in my motorhome to let me know, or I can always check to see if I need to turn off something like the furnace that's getting the battery too low. Now here is a very important tool that's really helpful and necessary. Actually, this is a battery tester. It'll tell you how many volts it's putting out, but there's a little switch down here. You can flip over and it throws a load on the battery. Then it'll tell you if the battery is bad under a load, which is important. This one right here is an older battery, and it was bad, and it was draining down the whole system. Well, that identified it, and I could disconnect it, and rather than all my lights staying on for only about 3 hours at night, they would stay on all night. Let's see, what else did I want to cover? I didn't want to badmouth the Harbor Freight system because you can learn a lot. You get the controllers, you get the $8. You can get a junction box and plug them all into that too. So you're just using one controller, and you get lights. I can come out and turn the light on over here. It's available on 12 volt anytime through their controller. But when you start doing several of these, rather than paying $3 a watt, you can pay $1 a watt. Excuse me, and you can save a lot on batteries. It's a good idea. Well, that's all I can think of right now. Enjoy.